Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is a foreigner in the Philippines. We live high in the mountains of Bohol. This is my lovely wife, Beth. We've been married for almost 3 years. I didn't think that it was going to happen when I came out to the Philippines. I didn't come out really for that purpose, but it happened. There's a great age difference between Beth and I, as you can see. She's a lot older than I am. But we've made it work. We work at it every day. We try to be nice to each other. We try to respect each other's culture. Now, the reason that we're having this video is because yesterday we found out that somebody we don't actually know, someone who is a friend of a friend, has come out here and apparently had been having correspondence with a Filipino woman, an intelligent, attractive woman with a good job, and they seem to be getting on very well. She came out and she left her job. She gave up her life where she was living on another island, and she joined the man. Well, after 2 months, the man suddenly sat her down and, by way of conversation, suddenly said, "I don't feel any love for you anymore, so here's 10,000 pesos and a couple of hundred, and you should go back and live with your mother." So the woman was discarded, just like a pair of shoes that you get fed up of wearing, and the whole thing ended in tears. So what we're trying to do is, we're trying to suggest to people that they should not take everything on trust, neither the Filipino or the foreigner, because it's not quite as simple as writing to someone, exchanging what I call studio photographs, and thinking that that's what the person looks like, because there's time, there's Photoshop, and you need nothing more than that. Anybody can be a handsome star, a beautiful star, with Photoshop. If you can go on YouTube and you can find complete makeovers of quite cruel videos of what they've a spotty, ugly, overweight woman changed into a great beauty just by Photoshop, and it can be done. And people, both male and female, foreigner and Filipina, seem to go for this, and I don't understand it myself, because eventually the person or persons will meet, isn't that the object, and they'll see each other for what they are. So it's better to be yourself. What was your take on what happened yesterday? What did you think about it?
I think it's very sad, and pity with the woman. It's not easy when you give your trust, when you give your love to the person, and then one day you will wake, you will just be told that I don't love you anymore, you can go home, So it's very hard. It's very sad for her, So it's difficult. So I think I'll just give an advice to those foreigners and to those Filipinos, especially that, remember when you chat with your foreigner or with your Filipina, it needs to be, you need to use your instinct, And when it comes to putting a profile, it should be real, not Photoshop, Because there are some foreigners and there are also some Filipinas that just look the outer beauty, So I think it's better if you just look not just the outer beauty but the inner beauty, because the outer beauty can be gone, but the inner beauty will never be changed, So
if it's there.
Yeah, if it's there.
If it's there for you.
Yeah, if it's there for you. So, and I think I have also another sad story about a friend of mine, when she's my college friend, and she chat with a foreigner, So when she exchanged messages, but what she did is she photoshopped her picture in the profile,
Now
and then
this lady is the one that had a scar.
yeah, has a car.
She had a scar on the lip there from a hair lip
Yeah, her lip.
that had been very well done, but she didn't show that in the pictures that she sent.
Yeah.
That was photoshopped out, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's Photoshop, so he didn't show up.
So how did that meeting go?
So they exchanged messages for a couple of months, I think 6 months or 7 months, and then the foreigner decided to came to the Philippines, to meet her in person. So this is what happened. The foreigner arrived at Cebu, and then that woman is also meeting the foreigner in the airport. Because that's the usual scenario in the Philippines. If you have a foreigner you meet in the airport, so that's the exciting part of dating, right? So that's how it is. She met at the airport, and then there's a restaurant in the airport after you meet the foreigner, and it seems when the foreigner saw her, there's already different, not exciting. The foreigner was been different attitudes towards her. So they go to the restaurant inside the cafe, small eatery or small restaurant.
Yes.
Inside the airport. And then when they go there, the foreigner said to the woman, I'll give you the 100 pesos. Just take a jeepney going home. So the foreigner explained to her that, oh sorry, the picture that I saw is different in real, So it's very painful, So cause you've been giving up yourself, you've been giving up your trust, and you started to build your love, your love is blooming, growing, and then suddenly the partner that you love in the internet is when you meet it in person, didn't love you in return. It's just good on changing messages. So that's what I think before you arrive to the Philippines or foreigner, in the side of the foreigner is be sure to yourself, be sure to yourself that you love that person, before you give your promises, your lot of promises to that woman, because
Do you think the foreigner was wrong
I think there is,
in that case?
I think it's not, because both of them, there should be, they should be true to themselves,
They should be honest.
They should be honest
with each
because the foundation is honesty,
So whatever, from the foreigner's point of view, whatever had been built on was in fact not true.
Yeah.
So he was building on a particular image, and it was not true. So he finished it straight away, which actually was the least painful way to do it.
Yeah. Rather than be together and then later on just break, So difficult, So that's what I'll advise the foreigners to came to the Philippines to meet their Filipino girlfriend or wife is put just know yourself, if it's the right person, if my feeling for this person, if I can accept this person, whoever she is, in real, because it's not easy, I know that when you love for that person, there's also another way of you've been hurt, and also to the side of the Filipina, that the foundation is to be honest, and always be aware that when you're in love, not all are ending up with a good one, not all the time you're ending up with a happiness, just be aware that there could be possibility that the mind of the foreigner change very quick, because especially if the foundation is not based on honesty and not based on
Well, not based on honesty and truth.
Yeah, I understand.
So my you can see that all of Beth's feelings, they're all feelings, they're all intuition,
Yeah,
they're all how do you feel, sensing and everything. My own solution is that instead of studio photographs of either, they should be just ordinary snapshots. Just snapshots in outside locations with people, with other people, just ordinary family stuff. And then from there you go to Beth's side, which is to really look beyond what is being said. The words are one thing, and the computer doesn't refuse any words. Whatever words you put on it, whatever your fingers can tap, the computer will take it. So just to repeat, you really need to be looking at ordinary snapshots. It's really important. And you need to be asking questions about beliefs, about the path that the person is on, both for a man and for a woman. It's better to know where they're going, where they're heading. Are they heading anywhere? And if so, are they on the same path as you? It's not absolutely necessary that you both have the same beliefs. Beth is a born-again Christian, and I'm not. She's praying for my salvation, and I'm hoping that she will wake up. We both want the same thing. We both want enlightenment of some kind, but I have no problem in relating what I believe to what she believes.
Yeah.
You know, she believes in God, as I always say this slightly tongue-in-cheek, but Christians tend, as far as I'm concerned, to believe in God as if he is something like the benign grandfather in the Waltons, and I don't, but I can respect that that is the kind of image that they seek to have. We're just swatting this guy. That's the kind of image that she is most comfortable with, and I can accept that. So knowing each other's beliefs and being able to accept them is more important, in my view, to having exactly the same beliefs. You don't have to be both Roman Catholic. You don't have to be both born-again Christian. You don't have to both be atheists. You just need to be able to love each other enough that you can accept the other person's belief.
Yeah, just respect each other, you know, and whatever culture they have and what culture you have, what the culture of the foreigner and the Filipinos, both of them should respect, you know, and accept, you know, just acceptance and embrace, you know. If the foreigners came to the Philippines, they should be aware that we have our own culture, you know, we have our own beliefs, and it should be better to accept it, you know. So sorry, we have turkey and ducks flying in Europe, so yeah.
The turkeys are on the roof.
Yeah, so aside from that is, I read an expat site, it's an expat site about that some expat also, some foreigners also complaining, you know. Yeah, which is normal, you know. So I think for the side of the foreigner is, he should be aware that when she married with a Filipina, he's not only marrying with a Filipina, but the entire family. So it involves obligation, it involves responsibility, you know. So he should be aware of that he's marrying the whole family. So not because when it comes to family here, it's I think it's known that other siblings or the parents is also asking financial help from the foreigner, right? So that's one thing that the foreigner should be aware of, that she's not marrying for one woman, but she's marrying the entire family, you know.
Now that doesn't mean that a foreigner is going to come in and support an entire family.
No.
But you will have to come to terms with how you can help.
Yeah.
And this was brought home to me very clearly when But if Beth's brother comes and he needs help, one of the brothers, she is one of 10 children, if one of those brothers comes and needs help, if her sister needs help, the only way to look at this is, what would you do if it was your sister? What would you do if it was your mother, father,
Yeah.
brother? What would you do? If my brother came here and he needed help, if I could give it, I would. And if I couldn't, he would have to understand. Sometimes you simply cannot help. And that's the most important thing, is that it is okay to say no. It's probable that you will be saying no quite a lot. For us, we need a lot of things done that I need help with. So, if a brother comes and needs help, he works for that help. So, as I see it, that's a win-win situation for everyone. I was never a great son. When my mother was alive, I wasn't the most wonderful son. And now I would give anything to be able to spend even an hour with my mom. And that will never happen, obviously. But now I have Beth's mother, and I have a second chance to be a good son. And I work at that. And
Yeah.
we support my mother-in-law, and she gives back more than I can ever give.
Yeah, then another things also that I could add on is for the side of the Filipino, because I think one of the reason also why is it the relationship with a foreigner didn't work, because there are some Filipina, as I said, it's not, I don't want to generalize it, but there are some Filipina that demanding, demand things, and we know that they grow up in the different culture, in the different country. So when we because it's for us, it's normal to ask sometimes, but for them it's different use to them. So it seems that we feel strangle, right? We feel
Yes.
that way.
Yes.
So that's one way also why is it relationship didn't work. So as I said, the bottom line is just respect. Just respect the culture, the respect of each other's culture, and try to talk things in the different way, The differences, try to settle the differences. And try to work it out,
Yes. See, when I was bringing up my son as a single parent, we didn't. I've never been a rich man. I've always had to work for the money. No work, no pay. And so there were many times that I would say no. And in the end, even as a 7-year-old, my son grew up with the rule. Don't ask if you know that I can't afford it. Don't ask. Don't put me on the spot for saying no every time. And he grew up with that, and he didn't ask for things that he knew that I couldn't afford. Now, in the Philippines, they don't think about that. My wife will ask for impossible things. And I'll say, oh, yes you do. When I say impossible things, I don't mean that she asks for a Rolls Royce or a sports car or something like that. But even when we're having a difficult time, she'll bring up the idea of going for a vacation in Boracay.
No. This is the way. He asked me, "What do you want? What's your plan?" And he said, "Okay, my plan is to vacation. Just for a side. So in other words, just to, I know that we can't afford, but I just try to tease him, So it's not a big deal, Sometimes just for fun.
See, so in exactly the same way that I don't get that. If I use sarcasm, that is completely it just goes over the head of any Filipino. Filipinos don't use sarcasm. So when I get up in the morning and I notice that no one is preparing breakfast, with my sarcastic, benignly sarcastic way, I would say, was there any plan to have breakfast this morning? And that will go completely over everyone's head. No one gets it. Everybody's totally serious. Yes, it's cooking. And my wonderful way of putting it is totally wasted. And on the other hand, as Beth has just said, if I say to her, what would you really like to do when we're broke? She'll say, well, a vacation in Boracay would be good. And like Boracay is 6 or 7, 8,000 pesos per night in probably only a 4-star hotel. And then I point out to her that perhaps we want different things on that. She'll want to go to Boracay, and I'll say, well, I don't, because it's full of foreigners. And I don't want to go to a place that's full of foreigners. I came to live the Filipino way of life, so why would I want to go and see a load of foreigners? Beth has never seen a load of foreigners, so I guess there's some curiosity there. So always there's this thing of not just of wanting different things, but the way that they're brought up at different times. And whereas I'm saying, oh, well, you have no sense of humour, when she brings something up that she doesn't remotely expect to have, I'll take it seriously and feel pressured. How can you say, how can you can't go to Boracay, how can we, we've got no money? And she'll say, it was just a joke. So, differences all the time. So just to recap, you should ask the questions at the beginning, the difficult questions, but that are easier at the beginning. You should want to see real photographs, recent photographs. If necessary, if you have any doubts, get them to hold today's newspaper up against them so that you know that it's recent. You may come...
Yeah, and also the Skype, you know, where you can chat
that's
on
another
Skype.
thing.
So Skype, and then try to know their attitudes, what are the likes, what are their hobbies, you know, so that if your hobbies and his hobbies and her hobbies is combined, so possible it would work, you know. And yes, the beliefs, you know, the beliefs, and trying to know the background of the Filipina, at the same time the background of the foreigner, you know, the Filipina should know that also, you know. And just to advise the Filipina is don't try to love yourself first before you love the foreigners totally, you know, because
so try to love yourself.
Yeah.
Don't try to love yourself. You're English, you know.
Try to love yourself first, okay?
Yes. Place a value on yourself. Again, that applies to both people.
You know.
You need to have a value of yourself, and you need to know pretty well what will make you happy. And if marrying a beautiful woman is what you want, nothing could be easier. The challenge comes in staying married, and that's the challenge that we're really talking about. Is not just in having a marriage. You can have a marriage and you can have that very easy. You can be in and out before you know it. The real challenge is to choose someone who you can actually spend your life with, and that may not be with the most beautiful woman in the world. It can be with someone who, in your eyes, is beautiful. In my eyes, Beth is a beautiful woman, and that's the fact of it for me. And the more that I love her, the more beautiful she becomes, and that's really the way that it is.
Yeah, so
Real photos, Skyping,
and try to know
ask the questions.
ask a lot of questions that you want to know, and always bear in mind that when you love someone, there's possibility that you will also be hurt. So just be
Yes.
aware of that, you know.
Yeah, you're in any relationship, you're taking a chance. And
And
if you're coming from America, there's about a 1 in 5 chance that your marriage will crash anyway. That's if you marry an American woman. Coming
yeah,
out here and marrying a Filipino woman is no guarantee that the same thing won't happen to you. And here you'll be struggling with greater challenges in integrating with a family. You should ideally learn the language. I'm guilty of not having done this, but I am trying. But out here, you can actually become an arrogant foreigner, because everywhere you go, people are going to really try to please you, and they'll speak English. Now, they can get very embarrassed about how badly they're speaking English. In fact, there's a Filipino joke. They'll say, "I'm having a nosebleed." That's when they're struggling with the language. So you can get to the point where you walk in a store, and I've stood next to foreigners that I don't know, and I've listened to them get annoyed with someone behind the counter who doesn't understand what they're saying. This is what I mean about you're not point zero, as I said in one of my other videos. You're not point zero. You're not the point at which everything is measured by.
yeah.
You're a foreigner in a foreign land, and everybody is going to try to help you, but be nice.
Yeah, and then another thing also is try to ask the sign from God, you know, if it's the right person, you know. And when you've been in a relationship, is try to put God in the center of it, and it works.
This is the born-again Christian approach.
Yeah.
It works for me that I can say, try to put spirituality at the center of your marriage. So you can see I don't have any trouble translating on this language. I can listen to Beth say, I help her with her speeches that she makes during the service in her church. I don't have any problem with that. When I knew that I was marrying the born-again Christian, I went for a few months and I studied the Bible so that I know what we're talking about. I know what the viewpoint is. I learned a lot. It didn't make me a born-again Christian, but I learned a great deal, and ironically, I now help Beth with her interpretations of the Bible. How's that for a turnaround? So, we're done, aren't we, here?
Yeah, so that's, we hope that it helps, you know, in just a small way.
Yes,
Yeah,
so this video, we've dealt with marriage. In the next video, we'll be solving the problems of the world.
Yeah.
So do look in.
Yeah, so hope you're going to like, comment, and please subscribe, you know.
Yes, please subscribe.
It's a big help.
It is indeed.
So, have a good day, and
Have a good day. This is a foreigner living in the Philippines, living happily in the Philippines. I hope this helps you to do the same. Bye for now.
yeah, bye-bye and God bless.